So should you buy the new iPhone 14 Pro, or should you just skip the iPhone 14 Pro? So let's get into it. Hello everyone, my name is Suzanne and welcome back to another video. So starting with all the reasons why you should buy the iPhone 14 Pro. So the first one is the cameras. They have brought in the 14 megapixel camera to the 14 Pro, which is really great because they have been using the 12 megapixel camera in the 13 Pro and the older models always. So it's good now they have bumped up the pixel in the camera sensor. Photography is not one of the reasons, it is one of the reasons. Photography is like one of those minor reasons why I like this camera, but the main reason of why I like the sensor is because it is much better in video quality. So right now I'm shooting this video from the 14 Pro and I only have this one key light. And I feel like I used to shoot from iPhone 12 and coming to this one, it has highly improved, and I think that the overall quality and in low light or even in the daylight, it has highly improved. And not to forget, they also improved the cinematic mode this year. So it has really improved and it is finally usable, and it also has the capability of recording in 24 FPS. So that's good for anyone who records in 24 FPS. I usually do in 30 FPS. Yeah, I'm a noob, sorry. But I like the cinematic mode too. It is really good outside. Usually like it is not good if it's a dark condition, but like this one. So I'm not using any cinematic mode right now, but it is great if you're shooting outside or if you have ample light in a room, and really shows how much these phone cameras are capable of shooting when compared to some really expensive cameras. And finally, they have the action mode. So action mode is great if you're someone who likes running all the time and want to take your phone while running. So yeah, action mode is great. I don't use action mode that much, but I love the video quality coming out from this phone, and that is one of the reasons why you should buy if you're coming from an iPhone 10, an iPhone 11 or older phones. So the next reason is the screen. It now has the 2000 nits of peak brightness, which is really great if you are outside in harsh sunlight, and it is now really usable. Although it was already good before in the 13 Pro, but it now has improved upon more. But I don't think it actually goes up to 2000 nits, but it is really usable outside right under the sun. So it's basically sun versus the iPhone 14 Pro. Yeah, and technically the iPhone 14 Pro screen wins. Yeah, and other than that, the screen now brings in the dynamic island and the always on display, but we'll talk about always on display later. I thought the dynamic island was a gimmick, but it actually isn't. It is a really good feature. Yeah, the pill looks hideous. I know, I'm not a big fan of pills, but I love how they have like merged software with hardware, and now it has combined to make one really good solution to show your live activities. So if you're playing music, if you're doing anything, like more applications are starting to use that dynamic island because they now have made the API public. So you can expect more and more applications to use that dynamic island to show some live activity that is going in the background. So if you're someone who don't upgrade your iPhones every year, so this is a really good time for you if you have an iPhone 11 or older phone to upgrade to a newest design, because this design is here to stay. It is not going anywhere for the next 4 to 5 years. We know iPhone has never changed. They kept the notch for 5 years since iPhone 10 and now till 14. 4 years, I guess. Yeah, 4 years. But 5. I don't have the count. And now I came from this Android device, this really old Honor 7X mid-range phone. Yeah, it still works, but I love that phone now. It is now a big jump, right? It is a big upgrade coming from this old phone. So if you're someone who has an old phone, an iPhone 10, 11, you're gonna love this device. Yeah, trust me. I don't know what the other guy just told you. To trust him. Just don't trust him, alright? Trust me, okay? Skip the iPhone 14 Pro. But before going forward, let's have a word from our sponsor, Sophia Learning.
Sophia Learning provides a suite of self-paced online college and gen ed courses. So now you can get through your studies faster while potentially saving money with almost 40 plus self-paced online courses to choose from. And also, once you're done, you can transfer these online courses to Sophia Partnered schools. Not just that, these courses are also ACE recommended. for transfer to many colleges and universities. You can easily start learning by watching videos and text-based tutorials. So start your journey with Sophia by signing up for free today.
So go into the link in the description to start your free trial today. So now coming back to the point, you should skip the iPhone 14 Pro. Here are the reasons. This phone is really expensive. The newest iPhone 14 Pro cost almost $2,000 in Turkey. It costs $1,500 in Germany, and that's not even a Pro Max model, right? So you just spend $2,000 just to get a base model 14 Pro, and these prices are different everywhere. See, if it's $2,000 in one country, then it might be much more expensive in other third world countries, and most of the countries in general, because countries have tax for this luxury good, right? This is considered a luxury good. Why a phone is a luxury? If you're gonna just go and scroll the whole day, it doesn't make sense to spend $2,000 on a phone when you're just gonna scroll, right? Yes, it has good cameras, but it doesn't make sense to spend $2,000, $1,500 or $1,000. $1,000 is again a good price, but it's only in the US or in some other countries. But everywhere else, it's really expensive, and it's really hard to recommend. I know English. And it's really hard to recommend it to anyone. So yeah, first reason, price. Skip it. That's the first reason to skip it. Keep the count. There are many reasons. So now, the next reason, the 48 megapixel camera. Hear me out. So if you're coming from a 12 Pro or a 13 Pro, it won't make a difference. I came from this smartphone, right? This is a big jump. This has teeny tiny cameras, right? That has a humongous camera, right? Almost takes up a whole phone. But my point is that if you already have a 12 Pro or a 13 Pro, it is not a big jump. The photos still look good on the 12 Pro. Photos still look good on the 13 Pro. It's just not a good investment, because the 48 megapixel camera is still reducing that 48 megapixel photo to a 12 megapixel photo. So now, because of that, it now takes sharper images, not better images. Yes, it gets in more light. Yes, it is a little upgrade from the 13 Pro and a 12 Pro, but you won't see, just, yeah, you know that, right? It's not a big upgrade, yeah. Let's move on to the next point. So my third point, battery life. Now, for me, battery life has been good, really good. I love the phone's battery overall. It lasts me almost a day or day and a half almost, yeah. Not a day and a half, like a day, and I still have 15 to 20% left, so I can use it the next day, because my screen on time is almost 7.5 hours, and I still have 2 more hours left in the end. So overall screen on time that I get, the maximum that I got was 9 hours and 24 minutes. But some people have reported that the 13 Pro has a better battery than the 14 Pro for some reason. And the only reason that I can make out is that if you're using the camera, then that new sensor, and if you just have a brighter screen, then that 2000 nit screen. Those are the two reasons, or the two factors, why the battery is gonna drain so much. So if you're someone who really cares about battery life and already has a 13 Pro, then yeah, just keep the 13 Pro. 14 Pro, you might get disappointed with battery life. I didn't got disappointed, but many people did. And yeah, there's that. Well, yeah, those were all the reasons why you should or you shouldn't buy the iPhone 14 Pro. But now coming back to my opinion, and not ignoring those two people who just said those things. But overall, I think starting with the cameras, if you have the 13 or a 12 Pro, then this is not a big jump. If you have an 11 Pro or an older smartphone, then yeah, big jump. Good phone, get it. But if it's still expensive in your country, then yeah, I won't recommend it to anyone, because you can get value elsewhere. So if you like the video, then give it a thumbs up, and if you love the video, then subscribe to the channel. It's free, and you can see my iPhone 14 Pro full review right over here. I also have done an iPhone 14 Pro unboxing. It would be right up here, somewhere here, yeah, somewhere here. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.